What's going on? What's going on, guys? This is your man, Real Deal, Steele, coming to you live. Don't worry, I will be joining on the screen momentarily. Still working out a few of the kinks on the video setup here, but we will dial it in, I assure you, ladies and gentlemen. And there I am. Let's readjust momentarily here, and let's dial in those Hollywood squares. Let's see, chart there. There we are. We are almost synced in. We got Mr. Balls above. And there we go. Here we are. Welcome. And let me dial it down a little bit. And dial up that a little bit. Sure, that'll do it. What's going on, guys? You are watching Steven Steele Live. I am Steven Steele. Great to have all you fine folks with us tonight. Got an awesome, fantastic show lined up for you tonight. We're going to cover some really important stuff. We're going to cover some not so important stuff. We're going to cover some outrageous stuff and a little bit all in between. Who do we got active in the chat here tonight? We got Casanova. Good to see you, Casanova. We got the 7-1. We've got Alan Schneider. We've got Crypto Tank Girl. We got Jimmy D. Hector, the Dude, Zombie Doge Army. Of course, Alan Schneider, Johnny Wishbone. That's a cool name, Johnny Wishbone. That sounds like you should be like a pop singer from the 1950s. Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome Johnny Wishbone. Hub Deezy coming in. The Bang Stun. Everybody Bang Stun tonight. And Mr. Particle, the list goes on, Scott Herforth, of course. Captain Howdy, welcome back. Michael, welcome back. Guys, thank you. Before we get started, if you could just smash that like button, it takes a split second of your time. It doesn't cost you a dime. Number one thing you can do to help the channel like this out, get those tentacles out into the atmosphere so we can reach more people, pierce through those tricky YouTube algorithms. You know how they do. Yeah, and also, if you're brand new here, I'd like to welcome you and welcome you to press that subscribe button. Press all on that notification bell. Join us on our ascendance to the moon, Mars, and beyond, etc., etc. And if you feel compelled to super chat anywhere throughout the duration of this episode, that's obviously hugely appreciated for all the time and efforts put in. And feel free to ask myself or my esteemed colleague above whatever questions or comments you'd like, and we will field those to the best of our ability. I'd like to welcome the Golden Greaser to the membership class. Welcome to the membership class, Golden Greaser. Now you have unlocked and unleashed all the members-only content for you, sir. But welcome aboard. And welcome Chi-Chi, welcome Michael, welcome Sarah, I think, is in there too. So welcome, guys, welcome. So, top of it all, let's get down to it, poppers. What do you say, Nick? Do you think there's some bullish signs with Bitcoin today for the first time in a bit? Do you think we are finally at the beginning of the end of the Red September?
I have a theory, and I was going to bring it up on Twitter today, but I didn't want to sound too Alex Jonesy, but I'll bring it up here. So I watched a lot today, actually. I didn't just watch crypto. My one of my main focuses today was on actually meme stocks, GME, AMC, and the like. There were some big movements in AMC and GME specifically.
Oh my
There's
gosh.
a few others.
Mm-hmm.
There was also some amazing news that went out today.
Yep.
About Citadel, which
Yep.
is somebody's going to jail.
It's heating up. It's heating up big time.
So somebody is going to jail. And what it seems like, and this is just my theory, this is just what I think. I feel like Citadel or hedge funds controlling these meme stocks through Robinhood have gotten found out. Now these people, obviously what they're doing is out there. I feel like they had to move these markets today to make people, to distract people from the fact that they've been controlling these things this entire time. Obviously, crypto moved up today, but if you look at what Robinhood controls a majority of, it's Dogecoin. Robinhood makes a majority of their money off of Dogecoin. I think that whatever they're trying to manipulate, all the money that they're moving into or out of these meme stocks like AMC and GME will flow right into Dogecoin very soon. Now, this is just an Alex Jones theory of mine. I don't know. There's no... I'm basing this on nothing but, circumstantial evidence, but I thought today was an interesting day, and all that stuff that came out about what they were doing and all these documents and whatnot. Thought it was very interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. I think you raised some really good points, because when you look at all of the tension that's going on between Citadel and Robinhood in context of what we know about how much Dogecoin trading goes on in Robinhood, what we know about how much of the totality in profits that Robinhood relies on for exclusively Dogecoin trading, your mind begins to wander a bit, right? About what else could possibly be going on there, what other possible motives is going on there. So I think you raised a really good point there. Obviously, we can only speculate at this juncture, but it's definitely something to at least be open to exploring and keeping an eye out on emerging data and possibilities up to what you alluded to there, Nick. Now, here we are. We're at September 30th, right? We are at September 30th. Now we have the totality of all of September to look back on, right? Now we can look on the totality of what we just experienced with September. And at the end of the day here, there's been a lot of freak out, a lot of panicking over the last month that we've seen out of how, due to the bearish trends over the last few weeks here. But when we look at everything that's transpired market trend-wise with September, it's really not telling much of a different story than it's told the last 4 years. What do you say?
Well, I mean, take a look. What did Plan B and stock to flow show that we were going to end September at, right?
Right.
It was 43,000. I mean, they nailed it on the money. So I don't always, I don't go by one, you can't really rely on one indicator or another. But stock to flow nailed it. I mean, now I'm interested to see going forward what their predictions are for next month. I think stock to flow called for Bitcoin to be at or above 60,000 in October.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, it seems fairly accurate at this point. I mean, they literally perfectly called September. So, I think the next 3 months, regardless of if they're dead on the money or close to it, are going to shape up to be very interesting, no matter what the case is.
Right. I'd like to give a shout out to Boof, Board 8 Yacht Club. Looks like that's a new name in the chat. My policy that I strive for anyway on this stream is let no new name in the chat go unrecognized, unacknowledged. So just keep that in mind for my mods too. I just want everyone to feel as welcome as possible. I never want anyone to feel like they've just, when they click on the show for the first time, that we're just this insular clique and they're not allowed to be a part of it. Everyone is totally welcome here and to hang out in the chat. And we get super goofy here, so feel free to mix it up with everyone else. And thank you, Casanova, for the kind words. Yeah, I mean, very vindicating results for them, right? Rock Lobster coming in, starting things off right, not a sight in the green with a $5 super chat. China keeps banning crypto, so I guess that means they can't ban it. They can't ban it. What do you say to that? Because that is a pretty salient point there. It does appear to me this recent year, though, that they have been taking more concrete steps of actually banning it, because now they have their own digital federal currency shaping up. And who knows, they're trying to, they have big intentions anyway and designs for their own national digital currency, which at that point is not decentralized. So it seems rather oxymoronic. What do you say, Nick?
Well, I think, it's like what we discussed on the last episode. It's like China's banned Bitcoin more times than, Guns N' Roses have created reunion tours, like...
Yes.
I don't know how many times they've banned Bitcoin now. It's got to be in the 20s or 30s, I think. And they're going to keep banning Bitcoin until... I wish, clearly, because there's obviously still Bitcoin holders, right, within China, like residual Bitcoin.
Right.
There's got to be a vast amount of Bitcoin left in China. I wish they would just dump it all. You know what? It would tank the price. Like, the price would tank, but eventually all of that Bitcoin would get reallocated.
Right.
We just need to peel off the Band-Aid. The Band-Aid of China needs to get peeled off. And we can move on. Cryptocurrency can thrive and strive without China. And we don't need China. There's an entire globe of people, and I understand that China is, they're population dense and whatnot, but like, it is just one place. Like, there's other places too,
Right.
And collectively, the whole of the earth represents a vast majority more than China. So,
yeah. I was always amused by the way that our last president said China. He way he pronounced it was like, sounded like
China.
Yeah, Chyna. China. All those compilations, pretty good stuff. Yeah, but I totally agree with you.
It's a bit of a shithole country, Steve. I can't do it, so I was gonna try. China.
Yeah, so it's one of those things, Nick, where it's so funny to see all the array of emotions that we've seen people involved in crypto go through over the last 30 days, right? Even causing...
We started off so strong.
And we started off, that first week, 10 days was very, very good, right? And then after that, things went as September typically does. Now, what's interesting is not only is that something very predictable and cyclical to those of us who have been in crypto longer and are more familiar with the market history of it, but also this China FUD campaign is so incredibly familiar. This is this isn't the first time they've just even done that this year. This is the second time since in the last 6 months that China has done this full-on FUD campaign on the market. Another thing that gets often overlooked that I often point out is the government themselves, the Chinese government themselves, is buying and accumulating in spades once they inflict their own FUD on the market. So these are not the actions of a government that is neither dismissive or pessimistic about the future of digital currency, China knows the foregone future with digital currency. They understand the power that it wields and the wealth that it will continuously wield, and they're stockpiling. They're stockpiling to give themselves more advantageous positions. They do this a couple times a year, and it's amazing to me how the mainstream media, it's like Lucy and Charlie Brown the football, right? They just never learn. They cover it the exact same way every time. In shock and horror. Oh my God, they're moving. What does this mean? What's this going to mean? I'm like, it's going to mean the same thing it meant when they did it, when they said this stuff 6 months ago. It's going to mean the same thing it did like the 13 other times they've done it. It's just like, it's, at what point will they ever catch on it?
I think the only thing that's really changed here, Stephen, is that the retail investor is now wise to what they're doing. And I think that changed this cycle. Like, never before was China had been essentially pulling the same magic trick for years, and it always worked. But you can't keep showing people the same trick and expect them to be dazzled by it every time, no matter how much you hype up the media or how much the big tech plays into it. If the people who are buying the asset are wise to your trick, and over time those people become more and more understanding of what you're trying to do, it's going to become less effective. And I think that's what we're seeing right now, is that trick is just becoming less and less effective. I hope that we see a day, like I said, I hope this is the last time China bans Bitcoin. I hope it is. I hope they sell all their Bitcoin. I hope it'll, like I said, it'll tank the market. Who cares?
Right.
We'll buy it up and we'll move on, and we'll come back in a few years and be right as rain. We don't need China. And I hope that people, at least the general, even newbie retail investors, are wise to what China's been pulling for so long. And I feel like it is. I feel like this cycle has changed that.
Wow. Yeah. Hopefully it's the last time here. I mean, I think the Chinese government knows that this gravy train is going to run out. They know that eventually it's going to have, but they're probably, they're laughing all the way to the bank. Are like, wow, this still works, so we'll just keep doing it until it stops working.
I would too.
Someone in the chat, Joey, says it sounds like you're having trouble with the minting process with Dogecoin. I'm sure the team gets really backed up over there. Any perception on your side that it's not being worked out, I'm sure, is unintentional. If you want to just message me on Twitter, my DMs are open on Mr. Steven Steele. I'll help you. I'll help you with whatever's going on there. And then also I made a great video called How to Mint a Dogex NFT and any NFT, not just for Dogex, for dummies. So I break everything down in the plainest language possible. And I give all the basic definitions surrounding the minting process and everything that you need to do in order to mint your first NFT, whether it be Dogex or something else. And look for that video on my channel. I just put that out a couple days ago too. Some of you may very well find that beneficial. Terry Reed said she's running a node. That's awesome. Good job, Terry Reed. I too am running a node. I finally found a use for my old MacBook Pro, and now I'm running a node. I don't think it could do any more than that. I know it couldn't, but it's running. Why not? It's there. I'm not using it. It's running in a node. So that's awesome. That's awesome. Good to hear. What else is going on here? Yeah, definitely got a lot of Dogex peeps in the house, so I might as well talk a little bit about that in the news cycle. Dogex is doing really well right now, going on over 75% minted now, and now we're going towards 80% minted. Everything's just moving along really at a really nice pace for the minting. So only almost about 27% left. And then they'll be sold out. All the mints will be done. And then they reached the crucial threshold on OpenSeas. Dogex blew past the 100 Ethereum in volume trading. So that's an important threshold on the OpenSea platform, because once a collection gets past 100 Ethereum in trading volume, then the collection gets officially verified, and that brings in more credibility in investors, and there's other perks that go with that. So that's another very bullish sign for the project there, and it's going well. We're having a lot of fun. And speaking of which, I guess this would dovetail into one of the topics for tonight in the thumbnail. Something that's been on my mind, and probably more so because I am on the team now with Dogex, is how can we leverage Dogecoin to take up greater adaption in the NFT space? Billy Marcus just made a really good tweet about this. Was this today or yesterday, Nick? Let me pull it up here.
It's funny. I actually saw it on Instagram.
Oh, you didn't even see it on Twitter?
So one of my buddies, the guy who bought Dogecoin with me back in 2014 and lost all of it, he sent me it on Instagram today.
Okay, and this is what he tweeted this out last night. And what Billy said was, Billy Marcus said 2 things I believe would help Dogecoin. 1, completion of the Doge ETH bridge, and 2, NFT platforms like OpenSea allowing for the Doge ETH token to be used for purchases. NFTs purchasing is high quality demand with crypto. Anything for Doge purchases of the NFTs greatly increases its utility. This is something that we've talked about in the past, not the first time we brought it up, certainly. But I think that I think we should make this a front and center priority with the community, as far as something we stay focused on, and we try to stay in the loop on as much as possible. I know that the Doge Ethereum bridge, to my knowledge, after speaking with Mishi and Ross Nickel, it's already done, but it hasn't been brought to market yet. So there's some misunderstanding there that they're still working on. They're not still working on it. It's done. It's been completed. It's certainly all the work that has regarding the bridge on the Doge development team, from my understanding. They've done all they can, from my understanding, and then they passed it over to the Ethereum end development to just kind of finish it up and put some nuances on it and stuff. And
I talked to Ross about it. He said it would be.
What did he tell you last?
He said, I think early next year.
Early next year. Okay. Yeah. That sounds about right. And I'm actually going to be on Ross's channel. Ross is now on YouTube. Did you know that, Nick?
That's where I was talking to him.
Oh, okay. So he crossed over into YouTube from Twitch, which I think is probably a good move. So I'm going to be at the special guest on Ross's channel, YouTube channel, on Sunday. This Sunday, it's going to be at like 6 or 7 p.m. Pacific time. I'll keep you guys posted on it, but it'll be one of those two. And let's get Ross more subscribers over there, because he's a brilliant mind. He's just starting off on YouTube, and not that I've got like a ton. I still have under 5,000, but let's help Ross. Let's help bring some Ross more traffic. He's a great guy, and he's working really hard for Dogecoin, obviously. And one of the.
And he's the real Ross Nickel, not the fake one that was in our chat a few weeks ago saying he was gonna work to improve Upcoin or whatever.
Yeah, we have aliases going as Ross in here. We get aliases going as Vitalik Buterin. We got aliases going as Upshot.
We've had Charles Hoskins.
We've had Charles Hoskins in here. Yeah.
Our chat has been star-studded.
Yeah. It's interesting because some of those people do come in our chat sometimes. So it's confusing. It gets really confusing because you're like, I don't think Vitalik would say that, but
But we did have Michi in here that one day that she came in and answered my question.
No, Michi Lumen has come in here. The real Ross has come in here sometimes. It's All Risky comes in here sometimes. Obviously Matt Wallace comes in here sometimes. So then when people come in as has these imposter profiles. It takes us a minute to know if they're real or not. Again, Joey, just again, you can message me on Twitter. My DMs are open. I am happy to help you there. Okay, thank you. So the early next year, you're saying that was about the same timeline that I assumed, given the information I was told. Now, if we can get Dogecoin adaption on a greater level into the NFT space, which I think we can, and I think it will be inevitable, but the sooner we can get it in there, I think the better for every Dogecoin holder. I think the impacts on the overall market value and utility of Dogecoin would be absolutely massive. Perhaps more massive than, I know it would be even more of a massive effect, in my opinion, than anything we've seen it yield from the retail space so far. Not that I'm poo-pooing that by any means. That's a huge part of it as well. But we see how much Ethereum has really benefited from kind of being the predominant go-to currency within the NFT market. If people were given the choice of a Dogecoin token. Now, another thing I'd like to kind of dovetail off of that was, I had the Metaverse developer of Dogex on this show about a week and a half ago, and he was talking a lot about this. He is very passionate about trying to develop that Dogecoin token bridge to be used on NFT platforms. And Ross said he's open to he said he was open to discussing that with him. So we'll see what transpires of that, and we'll keep you guys posted. But one of the main reasons why I actually signed on with the Dogex folks is because those guys are longtime Dogecoin holders, and one of their main objectives with the development of the metaverse was to try to leverage the project to advance Dogecoin in any way they could into the NFT space. So to me, it's kind of like a win-win scenario in that regard. So yeah. Chi-Chi says, are we declaring a super chat war tonight? 1, 2, 3, 4. I declare a super chat war. Yeah, I don't know. I know, Chi-Chi. I'll leave that up to you guys. But thank you again for the enormous amount of support. Last time I streamed live the night before last, and you guys declared it official Steele and Steele Day, September 28th. It's official Steele and Steele Day, and it was just mind blowing. I'm very, very blessed. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. So what do you say, Nick? The adaption of Dogecoin into the NFT space, it's kind of necessary given the environment that we are seeing shape up here. I mean, I don't really think NFTs are going anywhere. I do think we're in a bubble, don't mind you, but I don't think they're going anywhere. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, if you take a look at, it's almost like the crossover between the AMC people and the Dogecoin people. So there's a huge crossover there. To not be using Dogecoin in an NFT context, you're kind of eliminating a huge part of the market that's potentially untapped. And I think that a lot of people who participate in the NFT space are inevitably Dogecoin holders, and I think all of those people are looking for, because a lot of people, most people I'd say who are Dogecoin holders are small cap holders, 5, 10, 20,000, 100,000 coins, something like that. They're not looking to pay ETH gas fees on every NFT they mint,
No.
I know, it's like, it's crazy. So
ridiculous.
I think anything that allows people to actually get stuff on the Ethereum chain for less money, and be able to use and leverage their already existing Dogecoin, which they probably are up a pretty good percentage on if they were in earlier this year. I think it's a great thing, and I hope, like I said, I talked to Ross about it. I think he said sometime early next year. And what they were really waiting on was legal to approve everything. So for those that don't know, Elon Musk's personal legal counsel sits on the Dogecoin Foundation right now, which is something no one ever talks about, which is insane.
Why isn't this ever mentioned?
I don't know, but this is like the biggest. Elon Musk's lawyer
it's like
on the Dogecoin Foundation.
I know. This is like the biggest non-story, right? I mean, it's wild. Chi-Chi coming in.
Crazy.
Chi-Chi coming in with a $10 super chat. Chi-Chi, thank you so much for your $10 super chat. I love it. We love it. Thank you for your support, and great to have you in the mix, Chi-Chi, as always. Yeah, I think you raise a really good point there, Nick. It's so easy to forget how epic the reformation of the Dogecoin Foundation is. I've done my best to express this on social media and on the show here, but it's worth revisiting. I mean, you guys, literally Vitalik Buterin is the blockchain advisor of the Dogecoin Foundation. Literally, Elon's lawyer is sitting on the reformed Dogecoin Foundation, along with our other brilliant minds that are working for us there, whether it's Tim Stebbings or Ross Nicole or Michi Lumen. This is a powerhouse of a team, and you do not form a team like this. No, they wouldn't even bother to form a team like this unless they had huge, serious, long-term plans to really step up the operation and the influence of Dogecoin. Your thoughts, Nick?
Yeah, I mean, these are heavy hitters. Elon's personal lawyer, that's not a small ask. And it's cool that, first off, we know a bunch of these people. And, the Dogecoin Foundation can just reach out to them to figure out what the next step is. A lot of the things that have to be, like, the coding and all of that stuff that goes on, that I watch Ross do on a, pretty regular basis, that's the easy stuff. That, all the coding and all the stuff that needs to be taken care of on the back end, that's all the easy stuff. Getting the legal stuff done, that's a pain in the ass. And having, Elon's personal attorney being able to file for you in different, I'm sure he's well versed in international law. I'm positive that guy has a degree in international law, and possibly even specifically blockchain law in whatever country is, applicable. That is huge. That is massive. And these are the kind of things that are why ETH is doing so well and growing. And
right.
It's the kind of things that why Dogecoin is doing so well and growing, because they're doing it together and they're kind of symbiotically growing off each other.
Right. Agreed. My Doge is acting up over here, and I'm readjusting the screen, guys. Just give me a moment to just blow up the screen a little bit more. There we are. What has gotten into you? Remy, my Doge was just chilling all day harmoniously, and now she's just getting into all sorts of trouble. She does this sometimes when I stream because she gets jealous of that my attention is focused here, and so she'll start acting up and get into stuff that you're not supposed to get my attention. It's ridiculous. Anyway,
it's funny, my cat's been in my room all day.
Oh really? Just chilling?
Yeah. I think it's weird. He never hangs out with me. And I think he only hangs out with me when he's sick. He's usually with my brother. And he's been in my room all day. And then I had the biggest pasta dinner tonight, and I came back home and fell asleep. And he was in a cabinet. I have this big dresser thing here, or whatever, desk. And he was inside of a cabinet. I didn't even know he was in there. He jumped out, scared the shit out of me.
And what's your cat's name?
Felix.
Of course, that's the perfect cat name.
He's black, and he's got a little white little thing here.
Ah, gotcha. And what breed of kitten is it?
I don't know.
The Felix breed.
But yeah, black. He's a black cat. The Matrix kind. I don't know.
The Matrix. So here's a kind of a funny story, and we'll give our thoughts on it. This comes courtesy of Benzinga. Hamster coin crashes 40% in a day after skyrocketing on Elon Musk. Dogecoin creator mentions the recent surge. Let me see here. Coming soon, hamster swap. So basically, what happened is this hamster coin. So what happened is you heard about this market predicting hamster, right?
I've seen it. Yeah.
Okay, so that got mentioned by Elon. That got mentioned by Billy Marcus, and consequently, of course, there was a hamster coin, just like right in there, making it happen.
Of course there was.
And now there's a story today. It's like, oh my gosh, can you believe it spiked after those mentions and then came crashing down? Can you believe it? Like, yes, I can, because that's literally the only purpose these coins were created for, is to capitalize off of accidental mentions from the likes of Elon Musk and Billy Marcus or whoever else, of prominence in Dogecoin. So, yes, of course I can believe it. Look, we've seen this kind of stuff before. You guys know my policy in all transparency. Do what you want to do. If this is going to make you money and you make some money, great, good for you. I'm all for it. Just understand the game that you're playing. Understand the game you're getting into. So that Floki coin, for example, it's actually, if one were to throw a small amount of money in there, it might not be the worst.
That's a smart one.
That one might not be the worst idea, because now Elon Musk owns a dog named Floki, and so every time he mentions it, there's a fair probability that it's at least going to increase in market value about 20%. Now, how long that lasts, if that gig gets old and that reaction, that market response to those mentions gets played out, that could happen. That could totally happen. But at least that makes some sense to me. Now, do I think this is a good, credible project? No. Do I think that you should invest a significant part of your portfolio into it? Absolutely not. Do I think that if you put a small piece into it, that you could flip it for something? It's a fair probability given the circumstances, right? Fair probability. And I will say that community seems to be pretty excited. They seem to be pretty strong considering what it is. But again, it's high risk, high reward. Red light district stuff, but it's just kind of funny. It's a funny game that's played, and it's just kind of amusing to watch. Erectile Reptile coming in with a $10 super chat. You guys are the best streaming pair on YouTube, in my opinion. Keep it up. Fact: flamingos turn pink due to the sheer amount of shrimp they consume. Oh my gosh, that's wild. Did you know that one?
I did. I didn't know about their color like that, but I knew that, did you know flamingos can stand in boiling water?
That one I did know, but
yeah.
What I didn't know the reason. Is that true? The reason why flamingos are pink is because of the shrimp they consume? That's wild stuff.
Well, those ponds or whatever they stand in, I don't think it's like shrimp like we think of shrimp. I think it's like brine shrimp.
Right.
Like, they eat sea monkeys, essentially.
So wait, they eat sea. Okay, but the sea monkeys don't turn them pink.
Yeah.
I didn't know literally shrimp consumption could turn the hue of an animal pink.
Well, it's like they're like, I don't know, they're like a step above plankton or whatever. I just see them in those ponds all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny. That, I wonder if it has the same kind of flush effect on humans, Isn't...
You want to eat 300 pounds of sea monkeys?
No.
We can find out.
I know something that does kind of almost instantly have an immediate effect on the hue of one's skin is drinking a lot of carrot juice. Carrot juice will actually give you, because of all the beta carotene, high concentrations, it will give you that like an orange kind of tint or glow. So I've experienced that.
Get me going.
Oysters are a natural aphrodisiac, right? That's not an urban legend, right?
Yeah. They contain high amounts of magnesium.
Makes sense. And zinc too, right?
Yeah, and zinc. Yeah.
I think zinc is like one of the foundations for like vitamins associated with sex drive and things like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's what I thought.
Yeah, I've been meaning. There's a place in Florida. For those who I'm sure know, I take TRT, replacement therapy. There's a place in Florida called Titan that they were trying to get my business very early on, but they have this really extreme like testing procedure before you can get prescribed anything from them. It's not a big deal, but every time I try to go through them, it's just a headache. But they prescribe all of these like, they not only do they do TRT, but they do injectable vitamins too. And a lot of them are like geared towards sexual health and wellness and stuff.
Sure.
And I tried one of them recently. I have it here right now, and it turned not only did it not work, it turned me completely red. I mean, I was like beat red.
And
it was terrible.
What was this a consequence of?
Injecting, like, seriously, it is the amount of this stuff I took was comical. It was literally like a teardrop worth of this. I forgot the name of it. PT-141. That's what it's called. PT-141. It's a peptide. It's a peptide, like an amino acid. And I took like the tiniest little tiny drop, and my skin just turned instantly red, and I felt like I was going to throw up. That went away. The scary one, though, there's a blend. There's something called somarelin and ipamorelin. Now, it's another peptide. I have a hard time sleeping. I always have. I've been like I go, you know me to go to bed early, but I usually just lay in bed tossing and turning because I've had such a rough time sleeping my entire life.
Yeah, I'm a light sleeper
so I took this. I hate it. So I tried this stuff, somarelin, ipamorelin, and you can get it prescribed from these HRT clinics. And I've never had to almost call an ambulance before, but I almost had to call an ambulance the other day. I took it, and in 60 seconds, my throat closed up instantly, and
wow,
I couldn't breathe. Yeah, I was like. It lasted about 5 minutes, but if it went on any long, I mean, I had 911 dialed on my phone. I was like, I might have. And the amount, here's the crazy part, the amount that I took was almost insignificant. I mean, it was literally a teardrop worth. And because I don't sleep very well, I almost went, okay, I don't sleep very well, I'm going to take double, which would be 2 little ticks on the syringe. I almost did that, and if I would have done that, I'd be dead right now.
Nick,
because I'm allergic to it. I didn't know I was allergic to it.
Yeah, I mean, good thing you only took as little as you did, right? My gosh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Let's see here. Josh Randell disavows coming in with a $10 super chat. Then why am I not grass-fed? What? Then why am I not grass-fed steak red? I'm not. Oh, I get what he's saying.
I think we missed that.
I think he's referring to the theory that the fun fact that erectile reptile brought up earlier.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. I love grass-fed steak. Personally, I'm not really of the persuade. For most people, I think kind of maybe depending on your blood type, I don't really buy into the idea that red meat is not only bad for you, but I think red meat is essential for certain people to thrive and do well. Do you have any thoughts on that, Nick?
Oh my God, I could go on for hours. For anybody who's interested in one of the best diets you could ever, like one of the best bodybuilding and health diets of all time, it's known as the vertical diet. It was created by a power lifter / bodybuilder by the name of Stan Efferding. I've known, I don't know, 50, maybe 100 people that have gotten competition ready on the vertical diet, and it is extremely heavy on red meat. Like 4 out of your 6 meals per day are red meat, and people get absolutely jacked out of their minds on the vertical diet. Like, people get, not only, the one thing that everybody wants is to get giant and muscular and shredded too. And those two things are opposing. Like, there's been very few people in the history of bodybuilding or sports that can do this, where they can get jacked and lean at the same time. So you can do one or the other, but it's very hard to do both. And the vertical diet, I've seen people do it. I've seen people get jacked and lean on the vertical diet, and it is a ton of red meat. I personally eat a lot of red meat myself. However, you have to make sure that you're also keeping up with fiber.
Right.
Because
keep
if
it
you
moving.
don't have enough fiber, because red meat will just sit in you, and it's not good.
And you also have to make sure not eating too much processed red meat. There's a much bigger difference between organic or even just grass-fed or even regular, red meat than if you're eating too much processed red meat. Now, processed red meat, I don't think I would recommend that. Chi coming through. Steven, did you see our charts? We're doing so good. Slow organic growth, it looks like. It looks so healthy. Yeah, I think you're alluding to your guys' token project. That's good to hear. I did see some more action on it. So I really wish you guys the best on it.
Steven, I have a surprise for you. You're going to be... Okay, so I think I mentioned on the air the other night that, it's my 3-year anniversary next weekend for my girl. Well, it's actually... We're celebrating next weekend. It's at the end of October. But I got my girlfriend a gift, and I showed Miles G, our buddy Miles G, was the first person to see what I got her. And I'm not gonna mention on the air what it is right now, but I just texted you what just came in from Hong Kong.
All right, I'll take a look here. You just texted it to me?
Yes, I did.
Okay, I haven't. Okay, let's see here. And this came courtesy of who? Oh,
Hong Kong. I bought him with. Yeah.
Wow, you're not playing around, man.
Yeah, bro.
Wow.
Yeah, it just came in today.
Holy cow! Holy smokes!
It's our 3-year anniversary, so we got
lucky gal,
dude. I don't want to say exactly what it is on the air because I don't think she goes back and watches these, but you never know. But you're the second person to see him.
Yeah, you're not playing around, man. Big baller shot caller, for sure. That's a lucky gal. That's a lucky gal. Yeah, who knows, man? Maybe. What do you say? You think you'll ever tie the final knot there, buddy?
You know, it's so funny. When I was on my way, my jeweler is an hour away from me, so I was driving out there to go pick out like the setting and all the other stuff that goes along with what I just showed you. And on the way back, for so long I was like, I'm never getting married. I don't want to get married. You know what? But then I was there, and I was looking at engagement rings, and I was like, maybe she does seem like the one. I'm not gonna lie, she does seem like the one. And if I was gonna do it, now would be the time because I have everything that I want. I always used to say I wouldn't get married because I just wasn't in a spot in my life when I thought that would be, applicable.
Right.
But if there was ever a time, I guess the time is nigh. And if I was gonna get an engagement ring, it would be pretty baller, as you can see.
Yeah. Obviously. Well, I wish you the best with that. I myself, I've obviously gone through a pretty decent period, pretty decent duration in my life, rather, without ever tying the knot or having kids that I know of. So we'll see. We'll see if it's just something happens. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. I've never seen myself as the marrying kind. I've always kind of been the black sheep in my family, but in that regard. But we'll see. We'll see. You never know, right? Golden Greaser coming in with a $2 super chat with that super sticker of that Shiba Inu going, I told you guys that was the policy now that I'm on video, right? If you super chat with super stickers, I'll try to impersonate the super sticker. So that super sticker to me looks like it's going. And the second super sticker for $5. Thank you, Golden Greaser.
I'll try to do that.
Oh boy. That super sticker to me looks like this. Okay.
Hey, nailed it.
There you go, guys. I feel like any Dogecoin. Golden Greaser, just you're really putting me to work, my friend. I'm happy to do it. So that third super sticker is the Hayakarate Shiba Inu, and it goes a little something like this. Let's see here. There we go. There we go. Thank you so much. Thank you, Golden Greaser. Thank you, Nick Balls. What have you done, Steven? I ask myself this at least once a day. At least once a day, Jimmy D. Nick, I saw in the news, like news cycle again today. I don't even need to pull the story up, even though I made a note of the link, because it's the same story every time, over and over and over again. And it's about the Dogecoin millionaire that's not you. it's the other guy who's got his own channel called the Dogecoin Millionaire, and he's great. But it's just so funny to me how every time there's a streak of red, a streak of a bearish market, the mainstream media keeps circling back to him and are like, "Are you still holding your Dogecoin?"
Down.
It's like, "Yeah, I'm still holding my Dogecoin," and then the mainstream media's like, "This Dogecoin millionaire still holding his Dogecoin, even through this tumultuous market. Can you believe it?" And I'm like, yeah, I can believe it. This is like the 20th story on it. But I can't help but think about you are one of the OG. I mean, no disrespect to him, obviously. He's a great guy. I'm just saying, I just think it's funny to me because you're sitting here, a multi-Doge millionaire since 2014. Do you ever... What's going on? Like, I don't know. Why does the press reach out to you more, Nick?
I mean, I've had my forays with news media.
Yeah, you have.
Benzinga and little here and there.
Yeah.
I'm glad that I'm not like, whatever. I'm not like getting hounded by CNN on a daily basis. I think I like the amount of there's a little bit of anonymity to my life that I enjoy. Like I do like putting myself out there to a degree. And in that being said, like I helped out one of our friends on Twitter today, one of the I can't remember because I won't pull it up, but helped out somebody with some diet and training stuff, and he was asking me like, "Oh, do you get recognized or whatever?" In my town, in like the surrounding area, it's really cool because I'm like a celebrity here, and I understand that I could anywhere else like that doesn't apply, but like I don't travel outside of my town for the most part, except like once a year I go to Florida. So I like the local fame that I hold. I don't need to be national news. Nick Balls doesn't need to be on the cover of Time magazine or whatever. I don't need to be on Fox Business or whatever it is. If they want to come, if Fox Business or any of these channels want to come interview me, I'll always do an interview. I'll always go on a show. Like I'll always talk to somebody. But I think that my story, you would think my story would be more interesting, right? Like I've been here since the beginning.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, but that guy, he YOLO'd 180,000 into Dogecoin, and by the way, he's still within the 12 month. Like he still hasn't broken out of the 12-month period for taxation purposes. So it doesn't make sense for him to sell anyway, because he'd be taxed to hell and back.
Right.
So I guess my story, to us, it's more interesting, but to the news media, it's like, well, you put 10,000 and you made 6 million. It's not as great, but whatever. I don't care. It doesn't matter.
I was just curious to get your thoughts on it. I mean, the poor guy's probably sick of them asking him the same thing over and over again. I mean,
oh yeah, he's got to be. I haven't watched his channel in a long time.
Are you holding now? What about now?
Speaking of channels, can I bring something up?
Yeah, go for it.
I just want to give a quick shout out to Teddy Zane.
Okay,
who gave me a shout out.
What's going on with you and Teddy Zane?
Oh, we had a little bit of a no, we didn't have a tiff or anything. No, he called me out on his show, on his channel because he thought that he thought I was challenging him to the arm wrestling match.
Oh,
you know, he thought it was.
Did he see our show or something, or someone tell him or something? It must have.
I think he must have. He either saw the show or somebody told him. I don't know how, but it was so cool. He actually gave me a lot of props, and I went in the comment section. I respect the hell out of Teddy Zane. I think he's a great guy. If I'm ever, I think he's in Alabama. If I'm ever down south, I will. He owns a gym down there, a really nice gym too. I want to go train down there at some point, maybe next year or something, early next year. If I want to get out of the winter or whatever, I'll go down there. But such a cool dude. I have nothing but respect for the guy. He's competed in the NPC. I've competed in the NPC. I think we have, we both have titles, and cool guy, bodybuilder. Reminds me a lot of Rich Piana. I love Rich Piana.
Yeah.
So yeah, he just shout out Teddy Zane. I wasn't asking to arm wrestle you, and I wouldn't because I don't want to get hurt either.
Right.
I'm not.
Right.
I know people think I'm like 21 years old, but I am in my mid-30s.
Oh yeah, so he brought you up on one of his latest videos or something and said, "All right." So
yeah, he was like,
"What do you say? What do you have to say?"
He was like, "Let's talk about Nick Balls. Balls, is that what you call him?" He's like, he challenged me to an arm wrestling competition. He's like, "First off, I'm going to tell you right now, I wouldn't arm wrestle this guy." He was like, but guys, I am 50 years old. Like, I'm not arm wrestling some kid. He said I'd like tear his arm off or something, which I have done. But I usually am like, I'll win almost any arm wrestling competition, but
I don't doubt that.
I'll put myself in the hospital doing it. I will tear every fiber in my arm to win. I'm so dumb. I don't do it anymore.
You ever see the movie Over the Top with Sylvester Stallone?
Yes. Yeah. Long time ago.
Yeah, where he's a truck driver. It's from the 80s, you guys. It's a movie where Sylvester Stallone is a truck driver and a part-time aspiring professional arm wrestler. And the whole time while he's on the road, he's got this weight apparatus for his arm wrestling arm. Yeah, hooked up to his truck where all day he's just... Yeah, all day he's driving his truck going... It doesn't make for the most exciting montage when it's just different angles of a guy going like this. But, he got the job done. Yeah.
We got a question. I saw this in the chat. I just wanted to answer this real quick because it's like a health and fitness question. Chi-Chi 3300, is she new? I've never seen her before.
Oh, she's been around for a while. She comes in and out.
Oh. She goes, Nick, I'm 5'3", female, of course. What should my weight be? Well, I guess that depends.
What you're going for.
I will say this, though. Yeah, it depends on what you're trying to do. I know a lot of I actually hang out with a lot of powerlifters, a lot of powerlifter girls who are about 5'3". My girlfriend is 5'4", and she probably doesn't want me saying this, but she's 130. And I think that's
you're in the doghouse now, man. You're in the doghouse now. You better have those
she's
jewels ready to go.
Thank God I do. She's trying to lose weight for our anniversary. Like she's like 125 is her goal. But, yeah, I mean, if you're 5'3" and you're a lady, I think 130 to 140. If you're, and if you're a really heavy training strength athlete, like I said, I know a lot of powerlifter chicks who are little girls, like 5'2", 5'3", and they are jacked like to the rafters. So, yeah, I mean, if you're not trying to be one of them, 120 to 130 is not outrageous. I don't think. I think that's a pretty healthy weight for somebody that size. I know a lot of people. I get after people, and some girl yelled at me on Twitter because I said something about like ideal size or whatever. I don't know. It was like health and fitness, and she's like, health. It was like one of those health at any size person. I'm like, that doesn't like, that's not true. Like this is. So my 600-pound life, those people are fitness gurus. Like what?
This is a very dangerous This is a very dangerous mentality that's really become popularized in America over the last few years. And you know, I'm totally against bullying people for their size or ridiculing people for their body shape or whatever. But if we're going to go the extra step and literally try to propagate the idea that you are scientifically healthy at any size, that just flies in the face of any basic understanding of the human condition.
It was because it was the day that Elon broke up with Grimes, and I said that I wanted to hang out with Elon, that I could get him shredded and get him back on the dating scene. And she was like, being shredded isn't healthy either. And I'm like, well, it's a lot more healthy than being 300 pounds.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong. Like, all right, I understand. Here's the thing. Your heart, this goes for gigantic bodybuilders too. Look at me. I'm not 300 pounds of muscle. People think I'm some giant. I'm really not. Right now I am 200 pounds. In my bulk, when I get heavy over the winter, I maybe get up to 230, and that's really pushing it. And on stage, I'm 200 pounds, so it's really I'm not some giant guy. But if you're a bodybuilder and you're 250 or 280 pounds, your heart doesn't know the difference between 280 pounds of muscle and 280 pounds of fat. Your heart has to work the same either way. And yeah, it is dangerous to be huge like that, but these people are also in the gym every day doing cardio, training weights. I mean, the gym is their lives. And I can almost guarantee you that those people will live a lot longer than somebody who's completely sedentary and has to be lifted into their house with a crane.
It's just bizarre world when we find ourselves having to actually make these arguments, right?
Yeah, explain this.
It's just like, oh my gosh, you know, my a good friend of mine that I grew up with is actually a family practitioner, podiatrist, and integrative. He's actually very good, and he talks about this all the time, right? Wherein when people are wondering, people come in the office all the time, and when the majority of their conditions and ailments that they're complaining about are consequential to their levels of obesity. And look, I'm the last one to talk right now, but I'm not delusional either about where I'm at and where I need to go. I've been dealing with a lot of health issues, but I have been getting better. But I'm also under no illusions. I'm not going to say that I'm just as healthy at 240 as I am at 190. It's stupid. It's really stupid. And I've been both of those things. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
it's
you're a really tall guy though.
Yeah, I distributed it.
Yeah, you're a tall dude. So I'm 6 feet tall. Well, according to the MPC, I'm 5'11 and 3/4. Shh, don't tell anybody.
Yeah.
But when I was 230 pounds, I was miserable. I felt like I was gonna die on a daily basis. And this is just like slightly overweight, right? It's like 30 pounds over when I'm, ripped.
Right.
So my girlfriend wanted to kill me when I was 230 pounds. She hated it. I would fall asleep at like the drop of a hat, and the snoring that it would shake the walls. Like It sounded like I was a demon. And she recorded it too. It was terrible. It was bad. And I don't think I'll ever go back up that high. But yeah, I mean, there's no such thing as like health at any size. Like there is a specific weight that your body is meant to maintain, and you don't have to be ripped and jacked and all this kind of stuff. Being healthy doesn't require all of that. You just got to do your bit.
Right. Yeah, I agree. It's just, if we get to the levels where the mainstream culture is propagating to younger people and young women that it doesn't matter how large that they get, that you're healthy at any size, and then encouraging that sort of thing. And you could make a pretty rational argument to a degree that's child abuse. When you have impressionable girls who spend a lot of their time on TikTok, they're only like 12 and 13 years old, and then they're seeing a lot of this sort of, it's propaganda really, that is often, TikTok is really a pretty good source of the stuff that we're talking about. And they're seeing this sort of stuff. I mean, America already, to begin with, we have an obesity crisis that is just absolutely extraordinary right now, and that poses a lot of challenges and poses a lot of even financial challenges on the taxes that are inevitably lofted on the rest of us for people's lifestyle decisions, right? And again, this isn't about like, I'm not one to talk. I am not fit right now. I'm getting there. I've had some very big challenges with my health and a chronic issue that's been going on. I'm working out right now, but I'm also not under any illusions, right? I'm also not trying.
Steven, you lived through the 80s and the 90s, right?
Right.
You remember the impossible body standards that were put on women back then to be like under or at 100 pounds. Like that was the thing back then, was every girl should be like a pencil. That was what was attractive 20, 30 years ago.
Right.
And now the transverse is true. And everybody wants to be a whale, apparently. And I'm sorry, but your crypto bags shouldn't equal your weight. If you're a whale, like, you should only be a whale in the bank and not in real life, because both of the being super skinny and malnourished and being completely overweight, it's two opposite ends of the spectrum that will both kill you equally.
Right.
The great place to live is somewhere in the middle.
Right.
And yeah, I think that we put in these impossible standards on people, and it's a bell curve, and either end of it is death.
Yeah, or prematurely. I mean, we all find our way there, but
Yeah.
but I know what you're saying. Something that I heard a long time ago, and something that I kind of live by in terms of my own food consumption when I go into the store. People have a lot of different dietary approaches, and to be fair, the food, it's really hard to figure out one. There hasn't been like a real strong scientific consensus on one specific diet that's optimal for all humans. It's just,
Too
some
much genetic variation.
Yeah, some people thrive on. I mean, I know some people thrive on way less meat, and other people, they need it. They need a lot more meat. And for example, just for one example. But that being said, there are some overall truths, regardless of if you skew more towards veganism or more towards carnivore or somewhere in between, omnivore, etc. There are a few basics that we know are generally terrible for us. So those are like processed foods, a lot of processed sugar, for example.
Sugar. Yeah.
A lot of empty carbs. These things we know have devastating impacts on the human condition, no matter what kind of blood type or what's going on there. So when you go to the grocery store, when I go to the grocery store, I usually shop around the outskirts of it, and that's where most of the meat and vegetables and fruit is, right? And then once you get in the middle of it, that's where all the super packaged stuff is, And so I'm not perfect, but most of my diet consists of, produce and meat, pretty much, And then I'll indulge in a few of the things in the middle of the grocery store, but that's another thing too, man. A lot of that kind of stuff will make you feel, over the period of time, if your diet's predominantly processed food, it'll make you feel dead inside, man. It will make you just as dead inside as any hardcore like street drug does to you over time, honestly.
Well, it fogs your brain up. I will say this. Okay, so I take, in regardless if I'm competing at a show or not. Like for example, this year I had a photo shoot in Florida and we do this. I've been doing this every year. Not only have I been competing in the NPC for 6 years, but I've also I diet every single year. And now I'm going to say this because it's true for me and it's not true for everybody, but my metabolism has become so efficient that all I have to do is once a year just diet my ass off for 3 months, get completely shredded, and then for the rest of the year, I can pretty much eat whatever I want because I've turned the gears so fast that I'm just burning through whatever people think I eat this crazy healthy strict diet all the time, which just isn't true. Tonight I had the biggest pasta dinner you could ever have, followed by ice cream, and I had a couple drinks. Like my diet is not, whatever how many months out of the year is not like immaculate. Yeah, but for 3 months out of the year, it's very strict.
Well, you raised a really good point, and one that I perhaps wasn't considering the gravity of as much as I should have, and that is what's your activity level. A lot of it depends on your activity level, so
yeah.
How much are you burning, right? For example, you're high octane, man, you're burning all the time, so your body knows in the event you do have like processed starches, your body knows right what to do with it. It's going to allocate it and put it to use and burn it off, right? So it's going to have less detrimental effects on you or less negative effects on you than it would somebody who's not as active, right?
Dude, I lose 3 to 5 pounds every night when I sleep.
So yeah, sleeping when you're on a workout routine, you burn fat and you get lean while you sleep. It's crazy.
It's crazy. It's awesome.
Yeah. One last thing about this this dietary tangent that we found ourselves on. There's an excellent documentary on YouTube right now, and it is made by the BBC a few years ago, I think about 5 years ago. And what they did is they tracked down people with the longest, a group of people with the longest lifespans, some of the oldest people on the planet from a variety of different parts of the world. And they tried to figure out the common denominator. And it's interesting because some of these people, one guy was like a whiskey drinker, right? Another guy was a super fitness fanatic that had a super strict routine that had just a super strict routine, put it that way, and was just super health conscious, and his diet was all organic, etc. And a lot of it was those kind of people, but but it was also mixed with people that just didn't think about diet at all, didn't really think about taking care of themselves at all. And so this was what was like mystifying. This was the missing link. Like, how can one person seemingly not give a you-know-what, and another person be so on top of it, and they're both like nearing 100 years old, right? And what they found after interviewing these people extensively and observing their lifestyles, the one common denominator all these people had in common was, knowingly or unknowingly, they were regularly intermittently fasting. Right? And
I do it too.
Now, the science behind life extension and intermittent fasting is solid. It's very solid. So if there's one thing you want to take away from this, what we've talked about, that you might want to play around with, incorporating in your life, and something I think that's relatively easy to do personally, is intermittent fasting. And so what these people were doing there, a lot of them were eating like one large meal and then just going for like 16 hours without eating, or they were like 2 small meals, and then there'd be like almost like a daily routine of like 12 to 15 hours of no eating regularly. And so essentially what that does, my understanding of it, is you're not constantly burdening your body with all the having to process all this food all the time, and consequently you're freeing up your body's ability to regenerate itself and run more smoothly. I'm sure you've heard all this, Nick.
I do it myself now that I'm not trying to get huge. Intermittent fasting is probably one of the greatest ways to reset your metabolism, and also and I'm not making this claim, but there have been people who have had like cancer and stuff and basically starved it out of their body. You can't do that with it doesn't work with everything, and obviously
right.
if you're like the late age or whatever, but yeah, I mean, if you give your body nothing to run on, it's going to use up every resource that it has available. This is impossible for somebody who's trying to gain muscle, especially somebody like me who's a hard gainer, as they say in the industry. If I want to put on muscle, I have to be eating like 24/7.
You're a hard gainer you're a hard gainer in the crypto industry too, my friend.
That's true.
Yeah.
So it's my whole life, but I've done it. I've had there's been periods of my life where I've woke up in the middle of the night to drink a shake, or
right.
I wake up first thing in the morning and I start eating. But now that I don't have to do that, for me, intermittent fasting, I don't have to go for as long of a period as most other people do, because my metabolism is so crazy. So I'm asleep for 8 hours or 7 hours, and then I get up in the morning and I just have coffee and water or fluid or whatever for the first 2 hours. So that's 10 hours of not eating. And they say you should do 12. But for me, my metabolism is so nuts that I can get away with, I don't eat for 12 hours out of the day, and that's enough for me to basically maintain the physique that I have now. Now, if I really wanted to get rid of all my muscle, then I would keep, I'd broaden that window a little bit. But I like being a little bit jacked. You can intermittent fast, and it can solve so many issues, and it really is a miracle of a dieting. But you will waste away all of your muscle. If you have muscle, it will be gone.
Yeah, I think that's very sage advice there. One of the big myths growing up that I think is very unhealthy for most people, that has always been seen as conventional wisdom in the past regarding eating habits, is 3 meals a day. Now, if you're
7.
the point is, I'm more of a fan of intuitive eating. For example, if you're not hungry, don't eat. Like, don't obligatorily eat just because it's that time of day. I mean, most of the time I skip breakfast, and everyone's different. What I'm talking about, I'm not saying anyone needs to do, or I'm recommending everyone do what I do, because I'm far from perfect. I'm still fine-tuning things as I go. But what I do know is I feel worse if I just eat to eat. And there are days where I eat. There's days where I eat like a bird, because my body is just telling me, we're not hungry. So why eat if you're not hungry?
I'm not a big eater at all. And imagine that. So for me to get up to 230 pounds, I was eating 7 times a day, 7 full meals a day. It was grotesque. It was the grossest, most unpleasant, uncomfortable thing that I'd ever done in my entire life, was eat those 7 meals a day. And it was at a point in my life where I was trying to get my pro card in the IFBB, and I was willing to do it. I was willing to eat whatever I had to eat to get huge, and I did. And it was the grossest thing I ever done, and I'll probably never do it again. It just is. It is disgusting. And for me to gain muscle and gain that kind of size, it's not like people are like, "Oh, you're so lucky you could eat whatever." Do me a favor. Try and eat 7 McDonald's Big Macs in a day, and large fries and drinks and do that 7 times, and tell me how you feel. And then do that every day for 4 months. It is disgusting. That's not what I was eating, but it just gives you an idea of the amount of food. I would usually have 6 clean meals, 5 to 6 clean meals, and then 1 to 2 dirty meals, but I always had some sort of junk meal every day, whether it be Burger King or McDonald's or whatever. I'd have one of those every day. It was, oh my God, it was horrendous. It was so bad. I'll never want to do it again. And I wouldn't want to wish that on anyone. And that's the thing. People live lives like that. As like that's their baseline. It's like, how do you do that?
I think we've all experienced that around the holidays. that feeling,
yeah,
where you're just
that's why I do.
You keep eating beyond, and then you're like, oh. Yeah. All right, well, guys, my Doge really needs to go outside, so two things are gonna happen here. Nobody tune off yet, because I have something very important to tell you. Number one, we're gonna wind this stream down so I can take care of my Doge and a few other things quick. Secondly, we're going members only tonight in about 15 to 20 minutes, but we're not going to shut this down yet, because while we're doing that, I'm going to give you guys, I'm going to make a link to the members only stream. And in the meantime, Nick is going to share with you about what he thinks the market's going to shape up to be over October and October into November-ish. What do you say, Nick? What are you looking at?
Yeah. I think that if today was any kind of indicator as to what is going to shape up in the next few months, I'm extremely excited. I put out a tweet today that actually got a ton of traction, and I didn't think it would. And it wasn't necessary. It didn't get retweeted by anybody like huge. Mm-hmm. Normally, my big tweets always come from Risky.
Yeah.
I just said, and it was so funny, like the divisiveness that this put out. It was just my normal good morning. Who's excited for October? And people like blew up, and they were like, October. Yeah, it was so crazy. Like, so many people were like, somebody told me September was going to be good, and it wasn't good, and now I'm mad. And it's like, I don't know who told you that, but they didn't know what the hell they were talking about, because I've been telling people September was going to be awful for months. I think, I've looked at stock to flow. I wish I could tilt my camera over here. My second monitor. I look at graphs all day long. It's all I do. Mm-hmm. And by no means am I a TA god or anything like that. I defer to a lot of people. I get my TA from a lot of different sources.
Oh, I bet you do, buddy.
Yeah. But that being said, like the way that Bitcoin is looking, the way that the markets are looking, and I don't even look at like crypto or whatever. I think macro, on the macro scale. So what is the economy doing? What is what are the Feds doing? I can't remember his name. Powell was in Washington today, and he basically said the United States is never going to ban crypto.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, that's basically what he said, which is, this is what I mean. I knew this, right?
We knew this
because where else? We all knew this. Where else are they going to get all this tax money from?
That's why they need us.
They need crypto, especially now that they printed all this money. So, I mean, I'm convinced that October, November, and December, and possibly going into 2022, maybe the first few months of 2022, we will see a blow-off top to this market somewhere in there. Mm-hmm. Will it happen in October? Possibly. Will it happen in November? Maybe. Will it happen in December? It could. I'm going to be watching things very closely, but I do expect things to turn around in the next several months and pick back up and get at least Bitcoin back up to, if not breaching all-time highs. If that's the case, the money that will be flowing into altcoins, specifically Doge, will be very, very plentiful. And I do believe that the catalysts that are shaping up for Dogecoin, specifically what's going on now with Robinhood, the wallets, and possibly what is being uncovered currently with Citadel,
could
unfold the Dogecoin mass revolution into something we've just never seen before. So I'm super excited, and I think the next several months it's October. It's the greatest month. It's a spooky month. Halloween's my favorite holiday. It's when I met my girlfriend. It's our anniversary, so it's gonna be great.
Yeah. So Nick, what do you think about if you could just extrapolate a little bit on that about what is potentially there between the Citadel and Robinhood fiasco in regards to Dogecoin and Dogecoin holders. Well, I mean, what do you think? What do you think the potential magnitude of something like that could be?
You know what, part of me, it makes me very, part of me is concerned. And the concern comes from the fact that there might be some sort of probe into Citadel and Robinhood's dealings with one another and the way that they've been conducting business. That makes me nervous. That being said, Citadel has done dastardly things before, and they get slapped with a fine and keep on walking like it ain't nothing. So that doesn't necessarily, that it does give me a cause for concern of what they've been doing as far as like insider trading may be concerned or something like that. But we all know that these hedge funds, they get away with murder, so it doesn't, that doesn't necessarily scare me. But the fact that Citadel, we don't know, but Citadel is most likely the one who's sitting on all of the Dogecoin for Robinhood or had purchased it using their funds. Citadel getting rid, which would be essentially, they're not getting rid of their position, they're just moving the coins to the users, would still, it would open up a void in the Dogecoin market that would need to be filled with more coins, that they would create a supply shock.
Yes.
And that supply shock is what I'm looking for, and I think that's something that we all are kind of expecting. It's something that not a lot of people in the Dogecoin community or within the crypto community as a whole are talking about. A lot of people talk about ETH supply shock hitting exchanges. A lot of people talk about Bitcoin supply shock. I think the biggest supply shock of 2021 going into 2022 could be the void that is that will need to be filled by the reallocation of Dogecoin from Citadel to the Robinhood users. This is just what I believe personally. Don't listen to me. I'm an idiot.
No, I think I think your suspicions and your potentials that you laid out there make perfect sense to me. Honestly, everything that you stated there and your potentials and your speculations don't seem outlandish to me whatsoever in light of recent events. I'd like to say hello to the Doge Whisperer. Notice you trickled in here at some point. Verifone, Verifone and BitPay is massive for adoption. Yeah, we've talked quite a bit about BitPay in particular being this kind of the main arbiter that could. It's probably really going to be the one of the primary catalysts in exploding Dogecoin into broad adaption into the retail space. Larry Ramirez says, I need a Steele Halloween costume. If anybody goes as me for Halloween, you got to send me pictures. I'm putting that on blast. That would absolutely
I'm doing Tiger King.
Are you really?
Yes, I have the whole thing.
You do a pretty good Tiger King impression. I remember you brought it out on the show one time. We had a good time with it. So I can't wait for that, Nick. In fact, you and I should have a Halloween stream where we stream in costume, right?
I'm down, man.
Okay.
I literally have I have the whole Tiger King get up, and my girlfriend's going as a tiger.
Yeah. So you're gonna stream. Okay, we're doing this. I haven't figured out what I'm gonna be yet, guys, but I'm gonna be someone. So I'll figure out my costume, and then Nick for sure is going to be, we're going to do a show with Nick is dressed and sounding like Tiger King. I'm going to figure out my costume and make my character, but we'll figure it out. We'll put it together. Anyway, Nick, this was a blast. Thanks again for joining us. I know the crowd got a lot out of it too. And members, we are going over to members only in just 15 minutes, maybe, 15 minutes, maybe a little less. So I'm going to put the members only stream link in the chat. And if you're already not a member, if you want to consider it, it just starts at just $4 a month. Just $4 a month. The membership link is pinned at the top of the chat. So we're going to go in. I'm going to deep dive further into some stories I didn't get a chance to get into on the stream. I'm also going to go behind the scenes more with the Dogecoin project, behind the scenes more with a few other projects that I'm investing in additionally. And then I'll be taking any further questions about crypto or unrelated to crypto, and you know how we do over the membership stream. So for those of you who want to be a member, you just click the link at the top of the chat. And the rest of you guys, I will see you over in 15 minutes at the link that I pinned in the chat. Thank you again so much, guys. Appreciate each and every one of you. Let's keep the positivity going strong. Let's keep that Doge momentum pumping each and every day. I'm Steele. That's Nick Balls. You guys have been great, and we will see you next time. Adios.